Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. Thank you so much for tuning in today. First up, I am taking you inside of the new Swizzle Market, which is the first non-alcoholic bar in Fort Wayne. Then it's Money Monday with Foster Financial, and we're talking about how the market is at a record high and what that means for your finances. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Swizzle Market. I'm at Swizzle Market located at Jefferson Pointe. This is the first non-alcoholic bar and market in Fort Wayne. You can go on the inside, shop, sit at the bar, and also enjoy artwork. I'm taking you on the inside, speaking with their owner and also mixing up some non-alcoholic cocktails. Let's have some fun. I am now joined by Crystal Van Wallstrom, who is the founder and owner here at Swizzle Market. Hi, Crystal.
Hello.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, congratulations. I love innovation and new things, and this is definitely something new and something that's well needed in this community.
Yes, the most surprising thing for me is the amount of joy we bring to our customers. That was not something I expected. They walk in and they are surprised by the number of options that are alcohol-free. Right. I mean, it can be a little overwhelming.
Right. Okay. And so in case someone is just now hearing about Swizzle, because it's brand new,
yes.
What is Swizzle Market?
So Swizzle Market is a few things swizzled together to create a unique experience.
I like that.
Thank you. I worked on it for our customers. So we are part coffee shop, part alcohol-free bar and lounge. And then the rest of us is a market where we work with local founders and makers and entrepreneurs to help give them space to grow and showcase their products.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I know the big thing that you like to focus on is just inclusivity, right?
Yes, 100%.
You want this to be a place that's like a hub that the community can come and they can do a variety of things. But the focus, of course, which is so important, is just the non-alcoholic options.
Yes.
So what made you start a market that really focused on that?
Well, I am my target market. Okay. So I gave up drinking in April of 2023, and I was frustrated by what my alternatives were. So I used to go out to get that fancy cocktail and meal, right. And then when that cocktail went away and it was replaced with like a Shirley Temple or an alcohol-free margarita, which is really just lemonade, right. And lime, like that is not a sophisticated drink, and don't charge me $12 for that. And then so I went online and I discovered this whole world of alcohol-free options that were really starting to come online, because this is a fairly new industry and category in general, and it is exploding. And so I just wanted to get my hands on it and see if I liked it. And then once I realized I did, I wanted to see if others would.
Okay, and do others?
And they do,
okay.
They do. Absolutely.
So with walking in your store and seeing just all of the options here, that's so exciting, and I think it really inspires people to want to give it a try. Why not?
I hope so. Yeah. And when I gave up drinking, I went to find the alcohol-free section. Yeah. In the grocery store, in the liquor section, which makes no sense to me, because if you're somebody in recovery, walking through the liquor store or liquor section is not a good idea. And then you're looking at it and you're trying to decide, do I still want to spend 20, 40, whatever dollars on something I've never heard before from a brand I've never heard before? And then what is it going to taste like? It can't possibly be good.
Right.
So that is why we offer tastings for $5 to $15.
Yeah.
So people can come in without spending all of that money and decide what they like for themselves. And that was just something through trial and error. We listened to our customers. I knew my own experience because I went to the store and bought a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And it sat in my refrigerator for months because I didn't know what to do with it. It didn't taste like I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I wasted my money, and I don't want to do that for our customers, because I'm kind of on a personal mission as much as I am a business to help normalize not drinking and make it easier for people.
Oh, I love that. That's so great. Okay, so as we look around, let's talk about some of the options. So first up over here, we have beer, cider, and hop water.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And then over here, I see that you have some cocktails, elixirs, and functionals. So what is a functional?
I know, that's a new one for me too. So functional beverages has have extra health ingredients or additives to them. So they're adaptogens and nootropics, which is a new word for me.
Okay.
And so they are all about mental health or brain health, gut health, anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety. And so I recommend that people come in and they look for a flavor profile that sounds good. Look at the ingredients, and if they're not sure what it is, either ask us or look at, I have a cheat sheet on the wall because there's so many new things that we just all are kind of working on this together.
That's great. And then of course, people like a little boost or a little filling while they're still doing NA. So some things may have kava or like CBD and things like that.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then along the back wall, you have different wines and champagnes.
Yes.
Which is exciting. You have a lot of options.
We do. I mean, I miss wine. I miss a good red wine with my steak. And so I have been on a search for a really good red wine, and I have found several. I have tried a lot of what's in the store. I have specifically tried a lot of the wine. This is really good wine. Now, I will say that I miss the alcohol in wine the most because it's a higher percentage of the drink, right? In the beer, you get 3 to 5, maybe a little bit more percent, but in wine, we're talking like in the teens. And so I tend to miss it, but when I started drinking it with a meal, it became like I started to understand it and appreciate it, and now I will drink wine that's alcohol-free by itself.
Okay.
I know it's a little weird, like I should be selling you on how amazing this alcohol-free wine is, but there's a transition that people make in going from drinking alcohol to not drinking alcohol, that there's a transition.
Right.
But
so it's setting up really the expectation. It's not going to be exactly the same, but what it does is it will probably help the habit. Especially if you're used to having, like you said, a nice glass of wine that you pick up, and if you still have that motion or action, it's just a little different.
Yes. One of my favorite brand names that they have is called Ritual.
Yes, okay.
Because it's a lot of it is about the ritual, but you want to make sure that what's in that glass tastes good. Because otherwise it's going to be a bad ritual and you're never going to do it again.
Exactly. And then you have your wall of spirits. So in a second, I'm excited because we're going to give that a taste. To see what those are like. But you have so many different spirit options.
I know. It can also be overwhelming. But I also find it fascinating because how do you replicate a tequila or a bourbon? And most of them are not really meant to be drunk alone. You want to mix them in a cocktail, and they use pepper to mimic the burn of the alcohol, so you still get that spicy feeling. And so the flavors are really there. The burn is there. The ritual is there. And so it's a really positive experience, and you feel like you're having, we don't feel like it, you are having an adult sophisticated beverage that reminds you of your drinking days with none of the hangover or that, and it's low calorie and it's got healthy ingredients. And it's just kind of this mind trip.
That's so great. And so I want to also talk about another layer of the store that you have. I know you call this like the inside circle, and then you have the outside circle. So kind of walk me through what you have around the store.
So I was blessed with getting a space bigger than what I needed, and so I tried to think about what could I do with it, and I really want to help support other founders. I know my journey has been hard. How can I make it easier for them? And so we have worked and located, and we have found different founders that kind of fit the vibe of the store. So in one corner we have a gorgeous plant store. In another corner we have what we call the corner gallery, and it's currently curated by Mindful Lee. And we have 3 artists that are in that section. So we're giving space to local artists to showcase their art.
That's great.
And then we have mid-century modern 3D printed lamps by Jessie with Lumolux. And then Marcy has A. David Candle Company. And then Lori has Gorgeous, which are dried gourds that have been turned into these beautiful art pieces and vases. And then in the other corner, we have a kids corner or a kids section. Because we get a lot of pregnant mamas or nursing mamas, and they want a place where their kids can play while they can have that adult beverage. And so it's just a really great, vibe over there.
Yeah, that is great. I love that people can just come and kind of have an activity as a group or individually. They can shop the variety of businesses in the back, and like you said, they can drop off their kids as they enjoy a beverage or two.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, well, let's go to the part that we've been waiting for and just really taste these different spirits and see what they're all about.
Perfect.
We'll do it right after the break.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Welcome back. We are having some spiritless fun at Swizzle Market. And joining me is Crystal. And Swizzle Market is the first non-alcoholic market here in Fort Wayne. Hi, Crystal.
Hello.
Okay, we're having some fun, or we're about to.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I've hopped behind the bar now, and we're going to discuss how people can really enjoy a cocktail without having the alcohol.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's important to have an alcohol-free spirit. I mean, not every mocktail, although I'll admit I'm not a fan of that term, needs to have an alcohol-free spirit, but I do think it needs to have something that really elevates it beyond, a Shirley Temple. Right? So you're about to have one of our alcohol-free margaritas.
Okay, it looks so good. It looks like the real thing. Okay, but what I was watching you make it, I love that you're adding still the components of a margarita. You have the tequila, the NA tequila, in a
triple sec. Yes.
Lime juice and all that. So I'm excited. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah?
So what I like about it is it adds a little complexity because of the different bases that you're using in it. And it also gives that little tart.
Yes.
And that little hit that you're looking for.
Yes.
So it's not like you're drinking lemonade,
Right.
It has that little
kick. Yeah.
So you feel like you're drinking something.
Yeah.
I could sip on this and feel like I'm drinking a margarita.
And it's made fresh,
Wow.
fresh ingredients.
It
we
is.
we
So
make
tasty.
everything in house. Not the tequila, of course.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, and on this one you use the ritual, right? Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know
fun.
what to expect. I have to be honest, but I could drink that.
Good.
Yeah, and I like that you all have your own recipes here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now it's time to have some bourbon fun,
Yes.
Crystal. Okay, so what do you think about the bourbons here?
The bourbons, I'm a big bourbon fan. So I was a little skeptical because my bar was set pretty high. I was an old-fashioned fan.
Okay.
That was
I
my
love
drink of
old-fashioned,
choice.
yeah.
And so I've had to, when people come in and they say, I really want an old-fashioned, I have to just be honest and say, we can't do an NA old-fashioned. You're just gonna have to mourn the loss that you're never gonna have one again and find something else that brings you joy. Now, what you're about to have is a 74 Bourbon Street.
Oh.
So it is kind of like an adjacent to an old-fashioned.
Well, look, it looks like one for sure. So that's great. It's all about mind over matter, right?
Yes.
So let me smell it. It has an old-fashioned smell. Okay, here we go. Okay. It's substitutable.
It's substitutable.
Yes.
I like it. I
Yes,
like it.
It's
Yes.
substitutable. Maybe add one of those little cherries.
Yeah, you want a
And
cherry?
that may
I have the best cherries in the
put
world here.
Right. That may put that flair, but I can. Listen, this does not taste like I'm drinking a soda. It does not taste like I'm drinking juice. It tastes like I'm drinking something that's earthy,
Yes.
something that's not meant to down, but meant to sip.
Yes.
And that's what the cocktail experience
Yes.
is about, right?
Yes.
Something you just sip, you can chat, and I feel satisfied.
Yes.
And that's key.
I
Okay.
love it. I love it.
We can do this. Well, wonderful. Well, now that we see what they have to offer on the drink side, let's find out more about their community events. I am now joined by Heather Grady, who is the manager here. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Great.
Good. Okay, so you have been here since day one. How exciting is it for you to be able to be a part of this establishment?
It's very exciting to see people come through our doors and seek out different kinds of experiences and really start to get to know people and what their favorite drinks are and what they're here in search of.
Yeah, and I know something that's really important to you all is community building. So what does that mean to you, and how do you all kind of show that to the community here?
Yeah. Well, we're just starting to learn the kinds of things that people want to see happen here. So Sober October is our first foray into lots of different events. So we have all kinds of events for for kids, for moms who are not quite moms yet, they're expecting, or are already new moms.
Yeah.
We have some singles nights.
Yeah.
We have some things that are specifically for kids or for families. We have hands-on crafts and other kinds of workshops for folks. We have pop-ups of some of our local vendors. So we have lots of things that we're trying out this month to see what sticks and what we want to keep offering.
Yeah, and that's such a good point, thinking about mothers and expecting moms, because I mean, there's such a big audience to anyone who would enjoy NA, right? Non-alcoholic. I mean, it doesn't mean that you are, just gave up on alcohol. Maybe you're just curious about it, or you want just a healthier blend, or you're nursing as a mom, or you just don't want it at all. I love that this is a place for everyone in that. So let's talk about the events. Okay, so what the first one that's happening is Dry Hump Wednesday? Okay.
Yeah, it's, in these times, it's hard for folks to meet each other outside of the online world.
Yeah.
And so if you want to meet somebody IRL, you can do it here in our walls without having to go someplace where alcohol is part of the theme.
Yeah, that's safe dating. I like that. Yeah. And then what else?
We have a wine night coming up on October 22nd. We have our happy hours are Friday and Saturday evenings from 5 to 8 every week.
Nice.
With some drink specials.
Yeah.
We have an art gallery in the back corner of the store, and we're doing a Meet the Artist evening.
Yeah.
And we have some wine tastings. We have a board game night, and we have a Harry Potter family trivia afternoon on a Sunday.
And that is just October.
Yeah.
So then we can be excited about what's to come in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Awesome. And where should people go if they want to find out more?
So they can check our social media. We're on both Facebook and Instagram and on our website. So we're swizzlemarket.com or Swizzle AF Market, alcohol free, on both Facebook and Instagram.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information about Swizzle Market, we'll have their website listed below. Check out what they have to offer from their cocktails, from their arts, and so much more. We'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Swizzle Market. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome to Money Monday, where we provide you with holistic financial advice from Caleb Doan, the Vice President of Foster Financial. Good morning, Caleb.
Good morning.
All right, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. A little colder outside.
But
it's all
is.
right.
I know. It hit us with a little cold front here.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about the market and how it's at an all-time high.
Yeah.
So is that correct? What does that mean exactly?
Yeah. So I mean, typically the index that a lot of people track is the S&P 500, and it's hit many record highs this year. So currently at all-time record highs. And when that happens, sometimes people are kind of wondering, do I need to make any changes to my accounts? Is it something I need to react to? Right. And typically, the default is when the market is actually going down, a lot of people say, I need to get in there and I need to make changes. I'm worried about it and I want it to stop losing money, essentially. And oftentimes that's actually the time where you're supposed to stay the course, right? You're supposed to kind of keep things status quo most of the time and allow it to recover if the market were to recover. When the stock market is going up, a lot of times people's default is, hey, I'm just going to leave it where it's at. It's doing good. I'm not going to go in and mess with it. And oftentimes you actually should go in and maybe rebalance or kind of make some changes. So those were kind of a couple of things I thought we could talk about today.
Yeah, and especially with people's 401ks, as you said, like how does it impact them? So what should people do in the midst of this change for their 401k?
Yeah. Well, the market has gone up over the last 2 years. 2023 was a really big year. 2024 was a really big year. And there's kind of a couple things that have happened in people's 401ks over the last couple of years. First would be, if 2 years ago you were invested at, let's say, a 70-30 split of about 70% more growth, more equities, about 30% conservative bonds. Well, the equity side has grown a lot faster than the bond side. So maybe you were 70-30 a couple years ago. Now you're probably closer to 80-20. So you're, one, more riskier than what kind of you intend to be. And also, you're 2 years closer to retirement, right? So time has passed. You're closer to retirement now. And for most people, you want to start reducing risk the closer you get to retirement.
Okay, so how would one go about reducing that risk?
Yeah, good question. Within a 401k, the tough thing is there's not a ton of great options. So within a 401k, typically you've got maybe 20 different mutual funds that you get to choose from. Of those, maybe 3 of them are more kind of conservative bond funds.
Okay.
And that's typically what you can do in a 401k. You take a portion of the investments out of that equity, out of that growth side, kind of pull that gain off the table and put it into that bond side. Maybe you take 10% and move it over or something like that. So, that's one option that you have in a 401k. The kind of downside of that is that bonds historically have significantly underperformed equities. They've underperformed that growth side. So if the growth side is averaging, 8% over the last however many years, the bond side's probably averaging 3 or 4%. And so it feels like you're kind of giving up a lot to add some of that kind of conservative weight to your portfolio. So, within the 401k, there's kind of limited options there. A really great option that people have is if you have a 401k from a previous employer where you're no longer working, or if you're over 59 and a half at your current employer, you typically have the ability to roll that money out of the 401k into an IRA with a financial advisor. And so, that can be a really great option, because if it's with a financial advisor at Foster Financial for all the IRAs that we manage, we have access to really the entire world of investment options. It's not just the 15 or 20 mutual funds. We can get in interesting investments like ETFs, different types of bond funds, individual treasuries, buffered funds, which we've talked about before. There are a lot of great ways that we can reduce risk, but maybe still have some of that upside participation.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Good to know. With these interest rates continue to fluctuate, so good to know how to best manage them and benefit our finances. So thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you would like more information about Foster Financial, you can contact them for a complimentary consultation. We'll have their phone number listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.